welcome to Demasked. My name is Fresman, and today I'm joined by Bennett. Bennett, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty well. Not talking well, apparently, though, which is not a good sign. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty goo. Damn it!
Appropriate, given the last video I put out, actually. So let's just say, there we go. We saved it. Boom. Goo, right? Slurm's goo. It's kind of got that goo feeling going on.
I don't know, I recently watched the Slurm video and I forgot, I didn't forget about the worm thing, but I forgot about the noise that it makes.
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of squelchy, huh?
Yeah.
They do a good job of selling it as something really disgusting at the end there, with it being warm and everything, and it's just like slurping out of her in that sort of like very, as somebody pointed out on the channel, very cloaca. We don't have any sign of any other porthole out of that worm, so astute observation, probably some sort of cloaca, which, at that point you don't even know what it is, but goo, squelchy, yeah, it's all in there.
Like, the thing is, when I first saw that episode, that was my main question. It wasn't like, okay, it doesn't bother me that it comes out of a worm, but what the hell is it?
Yeah, it's literally you don't want to see the sausage get made, right? We all know what it is, but I don't want to see that process. I understand people even make sausage at home, which is crazy to me because I guess if it's not industrially manufactured, it probably doesn't have the same sort of like repulsiveness that you might have in like an actual sausage factory. But you're seeing behind the curtain in that Slurm factory, and it's how, the proverbial Slurm gets made. And I mean, especially with worms involved, it's just nasty through and through.
I mean, everybody has their own way to process horse meat. Am I right?
True.
Wait, I want you to know that the minute you mentioned like how the sausage is made, I'm like, all right, what would be like the most difficult like meat to process or to like attain through normal means? Probably horse meat.
Yeah, I mean, there were all those rumors of like people. Wasn't there like, maybe that was England, so I don't want to talk out of turn because I don't know that much, but I feel like there was that whole rumor that people were like using horse meat instead of cow meat for a while. But then because the internet's the internet, I read somewhere else that like horse meat's actually tastier than cow meat for some bizarre reason that some person declared to know. But like I said, internet's the internet. You got to be careful what you're reading on there. You never know when some guy on YouTube's going to tell you about who knows what. Fig
Coming
wasps.
up next on Bennett's channel, which meat is the best, horse or people?
I mean, hey, I haven't tried either yet, but, open to, although, I mean, that was the running bit through the last video, is open to eating human meat. I don't know if we need to get into cannibalism at this early in the interview. We're like less than 3 minutes in, and I'm already talking about eating people. Got some comments on that idea in the Slurm video as well, if I'm being honest.
I have this image in my head of like, hey Fresman, what'd you guys talk about? You interviewed that Futurama channel, right? Well, we discussed cannibalism there for a good minute.
I do play games, and if it's not a surprise, I also dabble in RimWorld, where that sort of like talk is pretty normal. I don't know if you're familiar with RimWorld at all, but that's a pretty common practice out on the Rim, also sci-fi, so it's in good company, right? Cannibalism, space cannibalism.
I am familiar with RimWorld, but I have not played it at all, much to my shame. I feel like it'd be something right in my wheelhouse.
It's one of those very management sim type, very like just micro. It is a certain type of brain, city builders, Sims, that kind of stuff. Not like The Sims, but simulation kind of stuff. But off topic, although kind of on topic. I don't know. No topic in particular.
You ever play a Dungeon Keeper?
I have not. Is that like more roguelike? Or oh wait, no, is that the one where you're actually running the dungeon and you're trying to like keep like what would otherwise be like heroes and parties of like adventurers from like completing your dungeon?
Mm-hmm.
No, no, I haven't played that, but that sounds cool as hell.
So just a funny, like a little side tangent. I got that game from a place that you should not be able to buy that game because it is like blood and gore.
Oh, word.
I bought it at the Scholastic Book Fair when I was in middle school.
No shit. Oh, sorry. I don't know if speaking of what isn't appropriate. Don't know if that's cool.
Hey,
All right.
fucking watch it, man.
All right, we're we're cool. Good
I'm
to know.
not sponsored. It's fine.
I can turn on the radio mindset, but I forget to sometimes. Obviously, in my videos, I talk about I make cum jokes on the regular, so I guess I'm not like you should be standing on ceremony.
If like in the times that I do self censor, it's not like frick or whatnot. It turns into like the 1950s sensibility. It's like, well, by golly,
Shucks howdy.
right? Shoot, shucks, and darn. I remember when I first met my partner that was my default of like I panicked and I'm just like, all right, time to be as polite and non-offensive as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then like on the first date was just like, why are you talking like that?
He's being such a weirdo right now. What the fuck?
Like I didn't. Well, I was just completely honest. Like I don't know what to do right now.
Jack Donaghy with his mugs. Don't know what to do with my hands.
Gonna turn into Nixon if I don't calm down. Hello.
Love it.
Now, I have been curious. Out of every character in Futurama, do you have a favorite?
Oh, like a favorite. That's tough. Weirdly, my brain. So, like, if I'm gonna just be honest and tell you the first character that like popped into my brain when you said like, "What's your favorite character?" It's gonna sound crazy, but it was Hyper Chicken. Which, like,
Yeah.
leave it to the guy with the absurd deep dive YouTube channel on Futurama to have, like, a throwaway tertiary character as his favorite character in the show. But there's something about that absolute just train wreck of a lawyer that I can't get enough of. And I've actually, like, I've noticed that I do actually, like, bird lawyers in general might just be a character trope I like, and that this is something that might seem absurd, but I noticed a pattern recently. I saw this online. I'm like, oh my god, they're right. There is a pattern there. Charlie Kirk from Always Sunny, bird lawyer. Hyper Chicken, bird lawyer. Two great characters, and I was also a big fan of the Adult Swim show, Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, also another Birdman lawyer. I don't know if any of that is related, but just I love anytime they're in a courtroom because we get some sort of Hyper Chicken nonsense from, like, I mean, I'm sorry I thought you was corn is probably top 5 Futurama lines for me.
So real quick.
Yep, sorry.
I believe there is a touch of Schadenfreude back there. Do you mean Charlie Kelly?
I said Charlie Kirk. Whoops.
I genuinely I was like, when the fuck was he in the show? What?
No, I think they do good to give him his kind of just desserts. I mean, no comment on any more. Charlie Kelly, absolutely Charlie Kelly is the lawyer I'm talking about from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Not, I mean, I look, I'm pretty open about where I come on a lot of things vis-a-vis the current kind of political climate in the United States right now. So if people want, they can guess my feelings on Charlie Kirk. But if you'd like, I can tell you.
So, I will state that this is an apolitical show.
Yeah, so we could just move on and pretend I said Charlie Kelly the whole time.
However, I want you to know that only one word came to mind on a certain day of a certain week. And it was just bummer. And then back to
Yeah,
back
it's
to
it's the top, is it Top Gear gif? Huh.
Oh no, anyway.
Carrying on. Yeah, no. And there's no need to comment on it beyond that. I think you're right there.
Who knows what I'm talking about?
Charlie Kelly.
Yes.
Anyway, now you might get it. So there's also possibly a glimpse into my poorly wired brain, which is oftentimes why some of my videos might seem to just fly off of the rails at certain points, because I'll have that thought, I'll write that out, I'll reread it back and be like, that's not right, but then I'll go on some tangent on some other thing. It won't, obviously that's not the exact example, but like that is sort of just the neurons firing at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and before you know it, you look around and you're like, what were we talking about? Soda?
I unfortunately live in that every day.
I have to imagine that a lot of people who watch my videos and can follow the train of thought have that sort of, I don't know, brand of insanity. I guess it's more of like a neurodivergence is kind of what we're calling it more these days. But I've proudly owned my own craziness since I was very, very young. So it's a little weird up here, and I'm glad that people kind of like how my brain works, because I just kind of, well, don't just blurt it out onto a page. I do take a lot of time to try to like make sure it's coming out right. But it is a lot of just going all over the place. It's a lot of fun. I like doing it.
Now, you mentioned Hyper Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
To violently swerve back onto
track.
Yeah. Now, say you're facing a criminal defense case, and you're the defendant. Would you want Hyper Chicken defending you?
On my side? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would love for him to be with the prosecution, but given the way things seem to go in that show and the position he is usually in, he's usually like the court-appointed lawyer. So I think I would end up with him representing me, and I think I would do the given the choice of Hyper Chicken or representing myself, I think I would do the thing that you're not supposed to do, and I would definitely represent myself. Love the guy though.
Here's your Portland lawyer. I've got it.
Please sit down. Don't make any noise. Not that noise. No, just stop just barking like a chicken, man. I just need you to shut up. They're gonna put me away for eating people.
I mean, Futurama's fine. Soylent fries, and
you can have an entire both food and beverage human based Soylent, cola and rinds. Though I was gonna say like that's not a balanced meal, which is why I fumbled talking about it, because that's definitely just like snack foods on snack foods.
What's wrong with that? I say as my stomach aggressively tries to reject even the thought.
Yeah, balanced meal, but you could, I mean, look, but living proof that you can survive off of it. Thrive, I wouldn't, thrive is a strong word. Survive, I'm alive.
I say I can attest to that second half of thriving, because I have diabetes.
Human rinds will do that to you, probably. It's actually, that's more the Soylent Cola, I think.
I was going to say,
Cola.
those 2 liters of Soylent Cola I've been drinking.
That'll do it.
I don't know. Futurama strikes me as the type of future that I can get that in barrel form.
Soylent Cola or medication?
Soylent Cola.
The latter's on the brain. That's the video I'm writing right now, is about how, like, the medical care system in Futurama is, like, very good, except when it's not. I was very curious.
It seems, throughout the episodes, it seems to vary wildly between, like we can literally scan you and print you a new body, and then on the other hand, it's like, we're just going to staple it back on.
But also, sometimes it's just like, yeah, nah, he's dead. We're not really going to check him. He's just dead.
Even though the entire Planet Express crew has died and come back.
Right, no,
times.
Exactly. But anytime it's a waterfall, they just like, nah, no. Like a little leech bit his neck, the same leech that's bit like Leela 3 or 4 times. Nah, he's dead. Leave him there.
But ooh, ethics or whatever.
So I'm digging into why the waterfalls have to die, and why nobody else seems to have to. But much like anything else, whenever I start, like, oftentimes the topic I start with isn't necessarily what I end up with the video about, because you have ideas in your head, you think you remember certain things, and you go back and you check some stuff in episodes, and you rewatch certain things, and you catch certain clips, and you come to a different conclusion once you start to kind of like pull the threads, and you realize what you thought wasn't necessarily what the video ends up being about, which is another reason why they're just all over the place. Tangential madness romps into who knows what. Philosophy? I don't know. It's anytime I have to pick a category for my videos, I never know what to do.
Yeah, I'd say it falls into
You clicked this because you like Futurama, right?
That's where you're here. You drink Slurm. We all do.
Exactly.
Right? When I'm out and about and feeling the thirst, I reach for a nice cool can of Soylent Cola.
I'm bummed we never get more than just that aside. We don't get any especially because, like, and that's the human rinds joke of it all. I really love those little commercials they have at the beginning of it's mostly like season 2 and 3. They had those cold opens where they would just do the, like, Thompson's human teeth, the only teeth strong enough to eat other teeth, lives rent free in my brain. I don't know why I love that commercial so much. But, like, I want to get sponsors specifically so that my ad pivots can start with those. My channel is brought to you by Thompson's Teeth. And also this other fucking shit. Who cares?
I imagine you just nuking like a genuine sponsor deal, but by throwing that in there, just like, do you ever engage in casual cannibalism? Try Factor.
1 out of every 5 meals you order has a 10% chance of having human people meat in it. 10% chance. No guarantee.
It's great for the cholesterol.
Probably. I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist.
Comes pre-packaged and pre-prepared. All I have to do is heat it up. A smart, easy food decision.
I wonder...
Boy,
I wonder if, like, you branded... If you had built a brand around it and a meal prep, like, company reached out to you... Because sometimes you get... sometimes you see somebody who has a sponsor who's really playing ball, and they know that, like, the amount of goodwill that I'll get for... Now, I imagine pretending our food is people is probably over the line. I will admit that would be a hard. As I was about to say it out loud, it was hard to sell. It's hard to sell to a food brand.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, no. Everybody will know if I pull it off.
I'll figure it out somehow.
The video will definitely include the I don't know, whoever's manufacturing and shipping people to your house. We'll sell those.
Whoever's processing.
Even the people who aren't using people and are just using worm excrement. Man, this is I don't think my food branding deals are gonna come in real heavy now that I'm thinking about it. Certainly not after my appetizing last video.
I just it just dawned on me like, oh yeah, I'm never gonna get fucking sponsored at this rate. There's no way in hell. Unless it's somebody crazy like what NordVPN. I know they're pretty lax on.
Yeah, they
stuff.
the VPNs. They got like VPNs by the dozen, right? That are thrown around like all kinds of. Who knows? Anyway, that's YouTube shop talk or whatever. Who knows?
So I've had a shirt store for the last several years, and I've so badly wanted to make a commercial that it's like socially unacceptable to wear anything other than my shirts.
How dare you? Black t-shirt? No, throw a logo on there. Fancy dress?
Scared?
What are you, at a wedding? Put a shirt on anyway.
Scared to leave your home due to the shirts that you wear? Feel that you've become a social pariah due to the brands that you decide to put on your body? Cover your shame with the new Fresman t-shirt.
I like that. That's pretty good. Work.
That's the phrase I've been throwing around for years. Just cover your
shame. You got to put something on that body. Might as well be one of these. I dig it.
It's made out of people, much like today's sponsor factor.
Oh man.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get a cease and desist from them, aren't I?
Yeah, no, it's probably good to stop mentioning direct brands. We got what? Blue Apron, HelloFresh. Who else sends food to your door? There's this really bomb chicken place down the street that like when you order it, even if you order it on Grubhub, the dude will just get in his car and he will drive the chicken to your house. He doesn't even wait for the Grubhub driver to show up. It was really weird when it happened the first time. But now I'm used to it and the chicken is really good. It's not people, so I don't know why I'm talking about it again.
So yeah, chicken, wink.
Which actually, like, look, and this is actually worth dissecting. Maybe not right here, but you know, maybe I'll put a little note for myself to. We're talking about hyper chicken. We're talking about cannibalism in the same breath, and we're not stopping to take a moment to think. One, does hyper chicken taste good? And two, is that cannibalism? Like, which I guess is the whole. It's the whole question behind the problem with poplars. Is like, how sentient does an animal have to be before we stop eating it? I think we all know the answer is they need to be able to fight back and win. But we like to think that the answer is they're not sentient, but we know that we know that's not the case. Cows have friends. I love burgers, by the way. I'm not saying I don't eat meat. I'm just saying cows have friends and our distinction is arbitrary. I need to really watch what arguments I make, having spoken this much about cannibalism. So I'm going to segue back to, what do you think? Do you think Hyper Chicken tastes like chicken, or do you think he tastes like something else?
I think
Sorry, I'm the one who's supposed to be answering the questions, right? I think he tastes like chicken.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm imagining we're having this discussion in like a chicken restaurant.
Next to a booth, in a booth next to two hyper chickens who have a bucket of chicken. So we're trying to determine, one, if they're cannibals, two, if we'd be cannibals if we were eating them, and three, if they taste good, which is the most important question.
I mean, is there a scale, not on like a sentience like metric, but like is there a scale from animal to humanoid, and how far humanoid is ethically dubious?
Well, because now we're getting close to that, like that, like, what did they have they were making those cakes, the Hear Me Out cakes, right? Sorry, this is how my brain works. Because the whole Hear Me Out thing, right? Like, they're like, you got a range of people you're willing to be like, hear me out, and like, you know, it skews mostly just humanoid, right? And it really the really crazy people it depends on like how kind of like animal you're willing to go, how monster you're willing to go on your hear me out is really how, you know, hear me out you're going. Because if you're just like, yeah, it's like a cat lady, but she's just like a lady with cat ears, it's like, well, come on, that's just a lady, versus like just a cat, and you're like, you need to calm down, sir. That's an animal. So, but there's that whole like anthropomorphized, like the Animorph on the front page of a piece of on the cover of an Animorph book, right? Like,
that's what it's going to be called, the Animorph scale.
Right? No, exactly. And like, in one direction is like, at what point is it okay to eat? And in the other direction, it's at what point is it okay to fuck? And the important thing is, I'm pretty sure there has to be, like, the middle of the spectrum is where it's not okay to do either, right? There's gotta be, like, because it can't switch on it can't be like, okay, we can't eat these animals anymore, but you know what we can do? Like, it can't be like that. There's gotta be, like, okay, you know, when they're walking on four legs, but they're making full sentences, you don't fuck them, you don't eat them. Those are the rules. They stop making complete sentences, eat them. They stand up, fuck them. But, like, otherwise, calm down, keep it in your pants, and keep your forks and knives to yourselves.
Oh, shit. But if you fall somewhere in the middle, I mean, both. I mean,
it could be. Well, see, that's where. Yeah, I mean, that is. I'm sure you've got people making that argument, and I'm sure, based on what I've seen of the internet, you have people firmly making that argument with graphical representations.
I want you to know that for a second there, I like, right as I said that sentence, I just looked down at my coffee. I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about right now?
Yeah, sorry. It's a little, you know, out there.
Well, the crazy thing was we're still somehow on topic of Futurama because we're still discussing Hyper Chicken.
And now you understand how my videos get so long and so fucking off the rails. Everything's on topic, man. All I need, like, it's just... You just need one small stepping stone from one to another and one to another and one to another, and all you have to do is remember either how to get back, or better yet, if you build more stepping stones, eventually you could just make a circle. And then you land back at Hyper Chicken. And why he's so interesting, and not why he's my favorite character, because I can't tell whether or not I want to fuck him or eat him, which is not what I think when I see Hyper Chicken. But it's interesting.
You're going through you're going through your thought process one step at a time, but soon enough we're standing in the middle of an MC Escher painting.
And I'm scare-roused about... Is it scare-roused? I guess that's more like... That's more fear-based, not hunger-based. Hung-roused? They don't really have that term in Futurama.
It's a mix between aroused and hangry.
Ugh. That's dangerous.
So I want you to know that I glanced up at the timer. I'm like, we're only 30 minutes in. How the fuck did we get here? How did we land so hard on this?
Yeah, we're like, what, one question in? Who's your favorite character?
Yeah. Who's your favorite character and what would you do to them? I'm not sure is the question I thought I'd ask today. Hold on, I'm getting my notepad. I'm writing down that Animorph scale. Animorph scale. I'm just gonna put from eating to sorry, my producer leaked out the remote. Banging. There we go. And underline. I'm just gonna write Bennett at the top of this. So I remember. Underline. Cool.
Don't be surprised if that scale starts making it into... I don't think so. There's not a lot of... I don't know if there's a lot of that necessarily in Futurama itself, unless I'm gonna really tease out that hyper chicken idea. But I think we can let that live here. That was more of just the fun on the off the cuff, on the fly thought experiment. I worry something like that actually like written out on a page and like properly like thought out would make me start to be like, what the fuck am I doing?
You know what you could, you know what the two sides of the spectrum you could use to represent?
What do we got?
One side's Farnsworth and then the other side's Hypnotoad. Today we're discussing Lure from Omicron Persei 8 and falls on this portion of the scale. God. Deal with that. You don't describe,
putting every single character from the show on the Animorphs. Would I eat them? Would I fuck them? Or would I don't know, what's the third thing? Marry them? Scale?
Fuck, marry, kill, yeah. Marry, lure.
But in this case, if you're killing them, you have to eat them because we're trying to make sure we're using all parts of the bugalo.
Oh, jeez. Where does Bender fall on that? Or Flexo?
Oh.
Calculon?
I mean, look, I'm not trying to talk turns out of school, but, like, I'd fuck Bender. Are you kidding me? Dude knows how to handle it. He's got plenty of experience. He's a love machine. We know that. They're definitely on the, isn't it Proposition Infinity? Amy hits that. And by extension...
Oh my God, you're right.
Yep.
Robosexuals. I forgot that was a thing. Futurama is such a good fucking show.
That is one of the things about, like, if I think, like, am I gonna run out of things to talk about? I'm like, they have such a wide... They're obviously not gonna have the same coverage as something like The Simpsons, obviously, because, like, just the sheer volume of The Simpsons means that they've covered everything. But they're, like, at this point, I think we're up to like 160 episodes of Futurama or something like that. That's a hefty chunk of just content, stuff to cover, things to discuss, and like they exist in a weird way that other shows, except for the exception being like The Simpsons, don't like. There aren't that many shows that are still around today that were also around in like 1999, 2000, 2001. Most of them, like, there are still, like, you know, you have your procedural shows, but a lot of them swap through casts. You do have The Simpsons. And you do have shows like Always Sunny that's been running forever as well. But, like, and I guess you've got, like, I don't know what Family Guy's up to these days, because I haven't been, I'm not really a Family Guy fan. But, like, they're probably a comparable show in terms of, like, have kind of gone away and come back, so you can get a sense of, like, their commentary over the years. But we have, like, decades of social commentary from Futurama, ranging from, like, the end of the 90s and early aughts, the turn of millennium, into today, with, like, these weird, they like almost check in with us every decade or so. We get a little bit of Futurama to tell us, to like throw their own sort of sci-fi world into weird misalignment when they invent flat screen technology somewhere between 3005 and 3010 for some reason. And stuff like that happens, which is really funny, that like the internet and social media, because of the way our society works, happens in the 31st century on the same trajectory as ours. And those weird little nuances of the show and trying to pretend that they exist in a future that really exists is where I mine most of my ideas out of, the sort of like the dissonance of those two concepts. I don't remember what I was talking about. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember where I started, but I hope I wasn't just rambling there, but I've started talking about the just kind of like how the show, why I make the channel, because it is funny, it is fun to just mine the show and like think about what the future we're being presented with means if you think about it too hard, which they even tell you not to. And obviously I'm just doing it for fun, but I love doing it because it's so silly. You can find the goofiest things when you kind of like peek behind the curtain that you're not supposed to look behind.
Well, it's almost like, you ever watch Mystery Science Theater?
A little bit here and there. That's the guys in front of the screen, right?
Now, I like the way Futurama presents itself reminds me a lot of the intro song for Mystery Science Theater, which is like, there's a line, if you're wondering how he eats and breathes and other science facts, just repeat to yourself, it's just a show, I should really just relax.
Yep. Now it's basically the opposite. It's taking the opposite approach, but like to the nth degree, like in so much as like, I think I actually put one of my first videos back when I was doing the Hulu episode reviews. I made an episode about when they like tried to retcon Nibbler. They tried to like fix the fact that he wasn't talking, or that sometimes he was, and like it's funny that I have a channel where I've got this like, what does the multiverse mean, and when in reality, like, I think worrying about that stuff can really hurt a show's ability to grow and to be interesting and to tell good jokes and to tell good stories, because you're too focused on maintaining some higher level of continuity that only absolutely insane people like me are looking for. But all that said, I love to do it as like a shit post. That's kind of what I think of my videos as, like, just maximum effort shit posting. Basically coming up with some, like, just really, really dumb ideas and committing to them in a way that's like, no, like, if this is actually what the future is, what does that mean? Do I believe any of this stuff? I mean, it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon. I'm a guy with too much time on his hands who's good at close reading TV, watching a cartoon that he loves, and loves to make up little things about it. But there's just, like, all of that said, on top of all of it, there's also so much love and care in the way Futurama is made, in a way that isn't really present in a lot of, especially more like improvisationally driven, single camera, like live action TV. Futurama, it's like, especially animation, you know, they think about a lot of these things, especially the early writers, right? Everybody, you know, talks about they're all like Harvard grads and stuff like that. But beyond that stuff, just iterating and thinking about and planning things and having good plans and payoffs, it really helps. So sometimes I think I'm making up some nonsense that's a thing I noticed. Then I'm like, no, you know what? I think they planned that. That's intentional. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there have definitely been things, especially when I'm doing that, the What's in the Box multiverse project. There are definitely things where I'm like, there's gotta be, like, the, I'm convinced that Sal, is important to, like, the whole understanding which universe we're in sometimes. Like, they used the Blue Sal in the movies when they came back, and he'd only ever been in one episode. It's one of those things where it's just like, I thought I was making it up, but then when in the third movie it's the other Sal, I'm like, I don't know. It's the I don't like conspiracy theories, right? It's like when you start, like, digging into a conspiracy theory for fun, and then you see the wrong piece of information and it catches your brain at the wrong time, and you're like, wait a minute. Is all of this true? But it's like a nonsense conspiracy theory, so no, of course it's not. You just, like, read the right information at the wrong time, and now your brain is rotten, and now you're never going to be able to watch Futurama and see Sal and not be like, what does it all mean?
Now, excuse me. Now, in terms of things getting planned ahead, have you seen that there is proof now that Nibbler was in the first episode?
So I like, as in, so I did actually dig around online when I was making, I think it was part 2. Because I was going to, and I think I can't even remember if I've made this claim in another video, that, like, Nibbler wasn't in the original pilot of the episode. And that, like, that was added in later. I had that written in a script. I'm pretty sure I didn't post that version. I think after I was like, I had that thought to myself, like, is that right? And I found this video on YouTube that seemed fairly, like, well, like, sourced in terms of where he was pulling all of the information, and he essentially got his hands on a original pre-aired, like, test pilot version of the episode with, like, embedded in the footage, like, slugs for certain segments that were not finished. And Nibbler was present in that version of the video. Is that what you're talking about?
Thank you so much for knowing what I'm talking about. Because that's where I was heading. Is because if I remember, Sinometry was the channel.
Thank you for knowing his name.
And I was gonna say, like, if you're ever looking for footage, like, go. That's the video right there.
So that was I'm glad I knew. I would have been mortified and lost all of my credibility as a Futurama guy on YouTube if I had been like, no, he's not in the first episode, but everybody thinks he is because of the Mandela effect, which was what the original script had in it. And then I was like, I'm gonna be such a, you know what? This is a great way to show my whole ass. And if I'm gonna get something wrong, one, YouTube knows immediately. Asking questions in school is a great way to learn, but posting YouTube videos is a much faster way to learn. People will tell you quite quickly all of the bug products that you don't know about, what happens to fig wasps, and all kinds of other stuff about bees and shit that you don't know about because you only have so much time to browse Wikipedia. But that's the kind of stuff that I can be like, yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, man? I stopped wanting to learn about fig wasps. They're crazy and nasty. That shit's crazy. But like...
And delicious.
Fair. That is... those like, look, if crunching on fig legs is what gives fig Newtons those kind of like, that like texture, then like, whatever. And it tastes nice. I'm sure they're fine. It's just like, it's good for the fucking bit, right?
I want you to know, when you covered that in the Slurm video, like, my first thought was like, shit, do I have to stop eating fig Newtons? And I'm like, nah. Nah, it's fine.
It's also like, and this is you can see it in the comments, and like, it's also the less fun part of the research that I was like, I'll just say I didn't learn this. Because like, that's like not really part of the process anymore. They figured out how to basically make a robot do it. So like, there are no figs in any commercially produced figs at this point. There are no wasps in them, at least.
Damn it.
Yeah, no. So no extra protein, I'm afraid. You got to go to like Italy or whatever.
I got to put them in myself.
Yeah, exactly. Just jamming wasps into fig Newtons.
Or I just imagine like not even fig wasps, but just regular like yellow jackets. Like,
Yeah.
But like blender and like, yeah, this'll cut it.
That way you don't have to worry about getting the stinger on your tongue. That shit hurts. But yeah, if I had gotten something so fundamentally important to Futurama as a whole wrong, I couldn't have lived. I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. So I was sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, I gotta do the due diligence here. And much to my relief, somebody else already had, because I did not have the capacity to hunt down the original VHS tape, which is what you would have to do. Like, because otherwise everything else is just like hearsay and people remembering.
See, I'm glad, because unfortunately a lot of YouTubers do not have that foresight of like, I might be wrong. No, it's like, nah, my opinion's correct. And, you know, I will die on this hill.
I think one of the things that I think bugs me the most, and I think it is related to exactly what you're saying, is that like that inability to, or it's almost like, I don't know if it's a lack of curiosity, but it's more of just the acceptance of collective knowledge as fact. I like to check it every so often, and I'm not like, it's one of those things where it's like there's a certain level of what's the word that people use for this? It doesn't start with a D or a C, and I'm just totally blanking on. It's not deceptive, it's the other word. Incredulous. When you're being incredulous. Incredulity. Fuck, I'm just blanking hard. Anyway. Wow.
Well, like you're being ridiculous?
No. Nope. Yeah, incredulous isn't when something is failing credulity. Is that what I'm looking for? Nope. It doesn't matter. I totally derailed myself this time, and this is why I write my videos out beforehand, because then you just delete that whole part.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because this right here is the exact reason I do not write anything for these. Like, I want you to know, Bennett, there is no bullet point questionnaire thing I've got going on here. I've got Discord on one screen, my recording on the second monitor, and then your channel, and that's it.
Free balling. I like it. All right.
That's the plan. I want this.
Cool. Well, I lost my main train of thought, but the main thrust of everything is I do like to make sure that I'm checking stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you can, or rather, that's what it was. Common knowledge. Oftentimes we just kind of like take stuff for granted. They're like, yeah, no, it's a thing that everybody says. Versus like common knowledge, there's like, that's actually just established fact. Versus the thing that everybody says is like, well, everybody says this. It's like, yeah, does anybody check that? And then when you check it, you're like, this never happens.
Like an old wives' tale, if anything.
Yes.
Because it's just like, well, hey, if you put, dish soap in the microwave, it'll blow up your house. And it's like, what?
So here I am putting dish soap in my microwave and everything's fine. That's weird.
You're going to see a post from me on Twitter in a couple hours. So my house burnt down. Whoops.
Turns out dish soap, highly volatile. Who knew?
Who knew Dawn was flammable?
Flammable means inflammable. But I do...
What you're saying is, I'm invincible.
But I do like to, I think it's important to actually, like, check your priors and not, it's the same thing, it's the Nickelodeon slime, right, in my video. I don't know how much slime is still advertised to kids, or how much it was before I was a kid. It might just be a thing, like Ninja Turtles, right? Like, every generation has Ninja Turtles. They just keep recycling Ninja Turtles at us. No matter, like, it's like, all right, we got a new group of kids, new group of turtles. What's in style now? Phones and shit? Cool. Make them say Riz, and fuck it, I don't care anything else. Put the turtles on the screen for the kids. That's like what we do. We just, like, we recycle it, but it's,
Make them CGI and 8 feet tall.
Yeah, no, we had that generation. Well, because that's what everybody, we were into, just being dark and edgy and punching shit in the mid-aughts. Everybody was like fresh off of 9/11. We just want to fuck shit up. Like, it
want to fight.
Like, legitimately, like, film and TV had a marked shift in tone after 9/11, and like, fucking, it's not a direct result of it, but like Michael Bay and Zack Snyder and that whole just like action genre of ask no questions except the ones that come out of the end of my gun are like, we were living that for a while. I mean, some of our movies are still doing that, but then we got on superheroes for a kick. But that's entirely a different thing. I do like, I mean, obviously Futurama is my hyperfixation, but like media in general, and like kind of, I really enjoy like art, and art movements were something that really interested me growing up, watching like how like art would change over time, and kind of connecting those ideas to something that isn't necessarily always considered art, like movies, like, I mean, like, obviously we consider movies art, and video games are starting to be considered art, but like even TV shows, I mean, just in terms of art as a form of human expression, you just don't have as many people and the great artists of our day aren't painters because that's not the most lucrative media, right? You're not going to get paid millions of dollars to paint a Sistine Chapel, but you are going to get paid millions of dollars to direct the next huge blockbuster. So like the medium and the like the patronage has changed, but like the movements and the way art moves and influences itself as it changes still exists.
I don't know why I thought you were heading for a different point of like, you're not going to be paid millions of dollars, but you will be paid a substantial sum for some furry porn.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like that was a lot more true before AI image generation has tried to systematically edge all creatives out. Ooh, edge was a bad word to use when we're talking about AI generated furry porn, but regardless,
to tease out, I mean,
no, there's no way any synonym is going to be a gooning synonym. We just have to power through. Nine tails. Oh, jeez.
I mean,
wait, but yeah, no, the AI like just generation is I mean, something that has made me worried just in general about like trying to make any substantial career in content creation online is it's like at a certain point, even if you can compete now, how are you going to compete with a robot in a decade?
Well, I mean, with any luck, I will be a robot in a decade.
True. Or I'm hoping for the artisanal digital revolution. People who are looking for artisan built digital crafts like my YouTube videos, which like it feels absurd. It's one of those things where it's like when I say a sentence like that, it feels like it should be sarcastic or like I should be slapping the person who's saying it sincerely, but I am saying it sincerely.
Well, that like I hear these arguments like specifically. Have you ever heard of the comedian Randy Feltface?
No, I don't think so at all.
For starters, very highly recommend. Just a fun time.
Randy Feltface, you said?
Yes, it's a purple puppet.
Word. Oh! I think I've seen, like, he's kind of like a marionette style, like, or like a Muppet style almost.
Yes.
Okay, I have not seen it. I did not know him by name, but I have seen a couple of, like, bits on YouTube Shorts and stuff like that.
It's interesting because he brings up in a few specials like sort of the meaning of art and like kind of what's left behind by the artist, and sort of kind of turning the camera back on him and like, I get that what I'm doing is weird, but like it's gonna leave this echo that people can at least look at. And like what's the word I'm looking for? Wow, I can draw a little bit, I can sing a little bit, I'm very good at talking to people, I'm willing to toot my horn on that one. And I'm like, even if my work, even if this interview is not played within the walls of the Sistine Chapel or broadcast on a radio floating through deep space, like there's still at least some proof not only on the online presence of YouTube, but in my like heart of hearts that this conversation has occurred, and thus in my brain makes that art.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. The whole conversation of what is art is one of those conversations that like if you get too dragged down into the weeds of trying to answer that question, you're almost missing the point. In terms of like if it moves you in any way, shape, or form, it can have. And if it has intent behind it, we like it doesn't have to be something that like fine art. Like I think we get distracted a lot, or I think maybe we're even sort of the way we're introduced to art in school is very much in a like this is Leonardo da Vinci, and he painted the Mona Lisa, and that's art. And, like, for some people, that's the start and the end of it, and they don't really think about art beyond that, and that's okay, I guess. It's a bummer for them, I think, but if they don't need anything more out of it, then I guess, who am I to judge? But it does, I think, set up a lot of people to not get a chance to realize that a lot of what their sort of everyday experiences and things that they do have artistic merit and are forms of expression. And I think if we were all a little more in tune with that artistic side that we all can have, and we were all encouraged to explore it a little bit more, to be the real hippie that I can be sometimes when I'm not talking about being a cannibal, I think we could all stand to be a little more artistic.
I firmly agree, and I think the argument of like what is art gets very much overcomplicated when trying to cross-examine, at least subjectively, what constitutes art. And there are certain questions regarding making creative works, whether it be a painting or a video or anything like that, that I think gets left behind in the pursuit of the proposed correct artistic process. And that being, are you even having fun while you're making the thing that you're making?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I understand certain projects can stress people out, even if they did enjoy it at the beginning. I've certainly got that before. I've been late on deadlines, and that's stressful and makes me not want to do it. But yet I persist because it's something I enjoy doing, specifically this show.
There you go. Oh, I hear that. The multiverse videos are on the back burner for a reason. Because they're a little more stressful than they are rewarding right now. That's for sure. But I think you're really it's on to something really interesting there, because it is, I think, a lot of people's relationship. A lot of people are encouraged to have their relationship with art be as consumers of art and not necessarily as producers of art. And it creates, and that does two things. One, it does sort of isolate, and it makes you think of art as a thing that's exclusionary. I can't do art, therefore art is a thing that I observe. Art's a thing I observe, therefore it's not a thing that I participate in, therefore it's not a thing that I do. It is a thing that I look at. I look at art. And then we're now trying to decide what is art by just being that's a fancy painting, so that's art. And that's a meme, so it's not. And it's but that's not, you're not even... Dude, you're not even having what are you talking about? You think you're not even having the conversation that because you and I right now, we're having a completely different conversation than that conversation that I'm talking about right now. Mm. And I guess one of the things I'm kind of dancing around is part of what kind of kicked this conversation off in general is that subgenre of conversation, which is just looking at the completed work and saying, is that picture art or not, is a large part of what's driving the AI is AI content art or not conversation too, because it's that what you're outlining when you're defining art in terms of part of that process, the creation of it, the exploring it, the everything that makes it what it is during the process of creation is sort of that's not what we're talking about when we're having the conversation about AI generated art, images or whatnot or what have you. It is a little bit because it's sort of the lack of that process. But it's one of those things that, you never know when you're having a conversation with somebody about art like we're having now, when you're having a conversation with somebody who thinks of art as not participatory, just something that you observe. And when you do that, you think you can't make it. I don't know, like it goes back to that, like, I wish everybody who feels compelled to make art because of like a prompter, because it makes it easy, it's a shame that they're not encouraged to just go out and find the medium that is most engaging for them to participate in, so they can experience participation in it. Editing is the art form that I've found the most joy in of anything that I do. I hate writing the videos. It takes forever because I'm not very good at writing and I don't enjoy writing very much. So it takes a long, long time for me to get anything mostly decent out of the writing. I love editing. I've been editing since I was like 12, and I adore the process. It just everything about editing is just like an entirely zen experience for me. And it's a shame to know that, like, you know, there are people who don't have an art form in their life where they can't like express themselves and just like and feel that. And it sounds like that's what you were talking about in terms of like your ability to do this show and like your ability to just kind of like create. It's an important part of life, I think.
Well, that and like I'm gonna use my show as an example because this is my chosen art form. But that's the what's it called? Like there's the term artistic expression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way I'd like the show to be run would be removed if I were to write a script or try to, you know, sort of nail down the talking points I'd like to have with people, because I believe wholeheartedly in my ability to get there naturally. Like, we started this talk about cannibalism, and here we are.
Yep.
Talking about, you know, the meaning of art and self-expression. And as a massive aside, it's a big pet peeve of mine, but I hate the snobbishness that comes with some people using AI to make like movie scenes or photos and whatnot, where it's like, you know, Hollywood's doomed. I did this in 30 minutes with whatever chosen platform. I like it, but to me, it's not. You're not saying like, look, I made this cool thing. It's, look how much I don't think when I make something. Yeah.
No, you absolutely nail on the head. That's the part I was gonna add. Is it's like it's amazing how they're even unaware of how much they're telling on themselves by thinking that there's like, when you show something with no substance like that and you're like, Hollywood's fucked, you're like, when you watch a movie, you don't get anything out of it. You don't, like, when people who post those and think that you're right, they don't think. And when they're watching things on the screen, they're just like, yeah, whatever. It's just explosions and stuff. It's the
Go ahead. Just seeing flashing lights at this point, like, geez.
Yeah. So this is in this connect. This is because this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Is so like, I don't know. Maybe it changes because like this is pre-internet, but like I back used to have people would say, and maybe this was even online. you're in English class, and the teacher is like, the book says the curtain is blue because it represents sadness, and then the smartass is like, no, it's blue because the curtain's blue. And it's the purposeful and the willing lack of media literacy that exists in those people who just think the curtain is blue, when in reality the curtain doesn't exist, and there's no reason to tell you about the curtain. And if the author took the time to tell you what color the curtain was in the room while they were describing it, then there's some significance to that. And that's, I think, one of those key differences in those people who aren't thinking when they're just like, Hollywood's screwed, look at this crap that I just shot out. And it's like, there's no substance, there's no information in there. That's just generic action scene. Is this what you think movies are? Holy shit, that's what you think movies are. And then you start to peel back where that person must derive pleasure in life, and then you realize it's probably from nowhere, which explains why they're so empty and why they're trying to use money to kill us all. But that's neither here nor there. Just unemploy us all, which is,
or the YouTube friendly unalive.
Yes. Well, unemploy, and we'll just let the American economy take its course, and eventually you can use a suicide booth if you can find one
for a whole 25 cents.
It is crazy. If you think about inflation, that's cheap.
I want you to know that, like, when I was younger watching Futurama, like, I didn't even take it into account the amount of money. I was genuinely like, oh man, I can't believe they have that in the future. But then rewatching it, like, as an adult, I'm just like, shit, that's affordable.
Yeah, the quarter of it all gets funnier. Oh, like, as time progresses and a quarter gets more and more worthless. Like, the cost of ending a human life just gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper in the future, because that price never goes up. Suicide booths, inflation proof.
It's all so tiresome, isn't it?
Yeah, no, this is getting a little too close to just real world stuff instead of Futurama stuff. It's easier to hide in there.
Anyway, cannibalism, no.
Right? So I hide in the mystery, in the crazy made up fantasy lands of eating people.
Well, I just, like, I like, personally, I hope, in, like, just to put an endpoint on the concept of, artistic expression and self-expression as, like, a final point to it, because I think that's a worry that a lot of artists have in any outlet, is finding, like, a niche or a way to present yourself that is uniquely that person. And while there will be some overlap, say, there's a multitude of comic book artists or a multitude of writers, of, talk show hosts and video editors, but I believe everybody can do it in their own way. Like, I'm certainly not, David Letterman or your, Jay Leno's, Jimmy Fallon, thank goodness, but
yeah. Don't need that last comparison. That's fine. Johnny Carson.
There you go. I want you to know, and I did this face to face with somebody recently. If somebody's well known for, like, a specific thing, I try to go out of my way to not ask them about it. Like, do you watch horror movies at all?
I'm not a big horror movie guy because I'm a gigantic baby who jump scares so easy, it's crazy.
So there's a movie out there. It's a horror comedy. It's called Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Okay, no, now we're talking much more my speed. Tucker and Dale versus Evil fucking rules.
So I got to meet the actor who... got to meet the guy who plays Dale, for starters.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
And I also got to meet the actor who plays the villain, like the Chad dude bro.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Jesse Moss, and I met him at a horror convention last year, or actually about this time last year, give or take a couple months. But I noticed that, like, they had this row of booths, and people could walk up and talk to him. There was no, like, big lines. It's a smaller convention. But I noticed nobody was going to his booth, and it was really bothering me. Well, because everybody's talking to the guy who played Dale and all this, and like Dan Roebuck was there and all this, and I kept staring at him like, I gotta fucking talk to him, but I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
and I wander over, and I quickly pull up my phone, and I'm like, what is the most obscure thing? Because I don't want to be like, what's it like being in Ginger Snaps? Because he was in that too. And I see that he has a voice credit on the hit kids TV show Dino Trucks. And I specifically wasn't going to be like, hey, I have a weird question to ask you, and like prime him for it. I just like, hey man, love your work on Dino Trucks.
Just hit him with it from left field. Love it.
And I said it as soon as I like made contact with his hand, and he just like, oh shit.
Oh, that's good.
And I've done this before, and I probably will do it again. Like the joke I've made with my partner is, if I ever get the chance to talk about or talk to like a proposed like super celebrity, like the joke I make is Ryan Reynolds. Like if I ever get the chance to have Ryan Reynolds on the show, I will not ask about Deadpool.
Nah.
But I will ask about that time he was in X-Files for like 30 seconds.
I didn't even know he was in X-Files. Because like I would have been like, you'd have to go back to like, I'm sure he doesn't want to hear about Van Wilder at this point, but you could always go back to Van Wilder.
Was that actually your butt in Van Wilder, or like was that a stunt double? Or but
did you actually jerk off that pug?
Just, you don't have to say it out loud. Just thumbs up, thumbs down. But I so badly want to keep doing that, and in my hope I'm still trying to get an endpoint on that artistic expression bit. But my hope is that the asinine construct that is my talk show will stick not only with myself but with people for years to come. And I hope upon hope that I plan to do this show forever till I'm an old man.
Word. Love it.
And I was gonna say old and gray, but I'm already starting to gray, man. It's
It happens faster than you think, right? I got a bunch in my mustache already. I'm like, what is this bullshit?
Dude, the problem is in my family, it starts really early.
That sucks.
It's
better than losing it if you still got it. If it's going gray, you ain't losing it.
It's funny you say that. My dad's bald. But thankfully, from what I've heard, old wives' tale, you get your hair from your mother's side. And I have really long hair right now, and I'm...
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Holding on tight. Now, in the vein of artistic expression, where do you see your channel going from here?
Oh, man. So... in the short term, not my, I don't know. It's hard to say because like I'm pretty in a pretty heavy point of transition in my life, like right now. Going from like this has been sort of just like a side project for a long time. Like, I don't post very often, obviously. I don't, like, it takes me a long time to produce the videos because, like, they're a lot of work, but I also, like, have a lot of other things going on. So being able to, like, focus and produce videos exclusively for the channel isn't really something that I can do. So it was just sort of like a place for me to throw random thoughts about Futurama for a while, and has been for quite some time. But it's funny you catching me in this sort of flashpoint in my life where I'm gonna fuck around and see about having a bit of a like an actual channel. I like this is sort of like not super publicly announced. I think I've mentioned it in a couple of comments, but I'm gonna start like posting videos a lot more regularly. I don't know how regularly so far, but I'm gonna be once a month starting this month. I'm posting another video this month. I'm getting a video out this month and next month, which is very different. If you're familiar with my posting cadence at all, I mostly post like once every 4 to 6 months or so when the video's done and I've finished dicking around and like procrastinating or whatever. But I would very much like to be I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, because beyond expressing my thoughts on through like video, I don't know how much more of a plan that I have. Right now it is hyper Futurama focused, and I have like a content schedule out through October, which does include starting to do 2 videos a month at a certain point. So I got plenty of ideas. If you think if you think I don't have enough to say about Futurama, I've got too much to say about Futurama. But I've like this is it's weird because like nowadays editing and starting editing at a young age I think is a lot more common than it was when I was like very young. The first time I learned how to video edit was on VHS tape decks, like deck to deck, as in like you have literally an A roll deck, a B roll deck, and a final deck where you're mixing VHS tapes and recording them to a third tape. Is where I like initially learned how to and fell in love with editing. And like it's really right now the channel and Futurama is an excuse for me to edit. And writing these videos and having these little explorations and thought philosophy exercises is a fun thing to do. So it gives me an opportunity to like write those things down. But really, as long as I like can dive in and start editing the videos afterwards, that's really what I'm going for. So in terms of like the future of the channel, that's kind of the plan is I'm just gonna ramp out and just keep pumping out just the same sort of content until something maybe takes form in terms of like a show or something like that, if that makes sense, or what. Like I think I'm starting to build a little bit of a sort of highly pedantic, slightly argumentative community of neurodivergent people who love Futurama, which is the perfect company for me. So, like, I'm excited to kind of see where that goes. But like right now, it is kind of an excuse for me to just edit. And I'm really happy that people enjoy the stupid little jokes I make with the videos, because I don't know. I know that like I'm guilty of this myself. A lot of times I'll like put a YouTube video on the screen on like my phone or something, and I'll have like an earbud in while I'm like doing chores and stuff, and I'm not necessarily engaged with the video because it's like a let's play or it's like a D&D like a campaign or some shit. But like when I'm watching a video essay, I try to pay attention because I know that like I'm very deliberate with the visuals that are on the screen compared to what I'm saying, because that's the whole. That's it for me. That's the part, whatever, that's the thing that's hitting the dopamine in my brain. That's how I scratch that itch, is lining up those shots and making it kind of like really click like that. So right now the goal is to just keep coming up with stupid ideas to dig into Futurama so that I can keep doing that. I think I answered your question. Maybe.
It's in there somewhere, I promise.
It's on the same wall that you posted the target on. That's for sure.
The dart accidentally blew out a light bulb.
In the vague direction of the board.
I'm waiting for it to like just boil down to there is a board.
I've been informed there was a board when the dart was put in my hand.
Somebody told me about it. Well, Bennett, we are actually closing in on the hour-and-a-half mark. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, I was just saying, but I think we'll start to wrap this up now. Bennett, I just want to take a moment that I'm glad where we're ending is where we're ending, because we started with cannibalism, jumped into artistic expression, and somehow this is still about Futurama.
A little bit.
Yeah. Especially the cannibalism part and Hyper Chicken.
Don't forget the Animorph scale.
Yep. I think I fall somewhere in the middle where they're like that half melted kind of fucked up looking thing.
Yeah, I'm a little goblin-esque myself, so I hear you.
What's that one where the girl's turning into a mouse and just looks like it's a it's a rock with a face on it?
Yeah, some of those middle transformations are gnarly, dude.
The Farnsworth Hypnotoad scale.
Where do you land? No, not physically. I mean, who would you bone?
Furthermore, who would you eat afterward?
No, not that kind of eat. Just regular eat.
Why are you walking away from me? Come back here. This is a talk show. Answer my fucking question.
Oh, man.
But, Bennett, I do have 2 questions to close this out today.
All right, I'll go quick.
It's all good. They're very simple questions. First one, do you have a video that you are very proud of that you'd like to see in the description of this video?
Oh, that is a good question. I would say, just given what we talked about, I am very proud of the Slurm video, and given what we talked about, I think it is the most appropriate one for there. I would say, more than anything else, I don't think I've ever made anything as good as my Fry video. That is definitely the video I'm most proud of, but anybody who has seen any of my shit has seen my Fry video. That's definitely doesn't need any more promotion. That's for sure. That was a really cool fucking experience, but that's a whole different thing. Go ahead.
And our final question to close this out today: would you be open to coming back as a return guest?
Yeah, absolutely. Had a lot of fun. If I didn't talk your ear off too much, I know I ran a little over. Like I said, 45 an hour? Don't worry about it. We're going to go over. I will come back and talk your ear off again.
Oh no, my lobster's too buttery. My beer's too cold. How terrible. But with that, Bennett, thank you so much for coming on. And party people at home, thank you for hanging out with us today. There will be links to Bennett's channel and the aforementioned video. And also, like, if you haven't already, go watch Futurama. It's just a good time.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing? Start with episode 1 and don't stop watching until you get through the Fox season. And then you can, like, then dealer's choice.
I mean, personally, I like Bender's Big Score.
Oh, no. I mean, like, if I'm talking, like, out of school, like, you should watch through Comedy Central. Hell, just watch the whole damn thing. The show's perfect, even the shitty parts.
Well, even the shitty parts are still pretty damn good.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Give me the worst episode of Futurama. I'll be like, okay, oh no, I gotta watch Futurama?
But with that, party people at home, thank you for hanging out with us. This has been Demasked. My name is Fresman, and I'll see all of you next time.